Okay, um, welcome everyone to another one of the Michelle Harris Zoom YouTube interviews. We're so excited to have you watching today. I am so excited for today's interview. I'm with two San Francisco treasures. If you know, you know. We are on today with Father Charles Gagan, absolute like Jesuit mayor of San Francisco, and also known in London, by the way, and I'm sure in many other parts of the world, and also another San Francisco treasure, Mary Toboni. These two people have done so much for San Francisco, so much for those who are in need in San Francisco through various boards that they sit on, and really through all of the things that they've done for education for children. But we're here today to talk about Mission Dolores Academy. Mission Dolores MDA is celebrating its 10th anniversary, and there's a big celebration on February 25th. I have been so honored to be a part of this board and just to be around Mission Dolores Academy for the past few years. They do such incredible work. And it's because of residents of San Francisco that this school even exists. So, Father Gagan, can you please tell us how you became involved with Mission Dolores?
Thank you, Michelle. 20 years ago, when I was pastor at St. Ignatius Church, some of our parishioners volunteered after school to tutor children in the Western Addition at Sacred Heart School. It was at the Fillmore District. The Archdiocese announced in 2001 it had to close the school because of a lack of financial support. And some of the volunteers came to me and said, well, isn't there something we can do? And it bothered me to see a school close because I grew up in the Richmond district, went to Star of the Sea. I said, okay, I'll go down to the Archdiocese. But first I went to some of my friends in the city and said, you know, we want to level the playing field. The city is changing so rapidly. Would you help me? And they said, yeah, we'll help you. So I went to the Archdiocese and said, we'll take it over as long as we can be independent. We have our own curriculum, we hire, and the length of school day, all of that has to be very carefully worked out if we're going to financially make this a success. Fast forward to 10 years ago, whereas the city gentrified, as you no doubt know, Michelle, different neighborhoods, the housing prices go up, and the families we're trying to help come mostly from the Mission District or further south into the east and all. And that's where we are now after 10 years. And I think it's where we're going to stay. It's where the families that we want to help are living now, are able to live, I hope, for a while longer. And that's how I got involved in this school business over 20 years. And now we are at Mission Dolores Academy.
And the results really speak for themselves with this school. I feel like when I had worked with the Basic Fund, which does private K through 8 tuition scholarships, and what we saw as soon as these students were put into a school like Mission Dolores Academy, I mean, Mission Dolores is like a family. And I feel like they're between you, board members, the teachers, the incredible principal and head of school. It's almost like these students are just lifted up by more people. So thank you for all that you've done to make this school possible. And now I'm sure that Mary Toboni and her husband Joe were one of the people that Father Gagan called on to help make this possible. And now Mary and Joe Toboni are chairing the event this year. You've been such incredible supporters of this school and all of the families and children that are involved or enrolled in the school. How did you become involved?
Well, I became involved by, well, first of all, thank you for calling me a treasure. I don't exactly think of myself as a treasure. Now, Father Charlie Gagan, I do think of as a treasure, and Mission Dolores is a treasure, but thank you for the compliment anyway. I became involved with Mission Dolores because of Father Charlie Gagan. And I started there tutoring the the reading class in the kindergarten first grade, which was a great experience. I was very honored to do that. It was a lot of fun. I think probably the teacher would use the ladies' room and I'd say, let's play hide and seek. I mean, I don't know if I was the best, was the best person, but the kids and I got along great and I really enjoyed it. So anyway, and then Father asked me to become a little more involved, and that's how I first started with Mission Dolores. But one thing I want to say about Father Charlie is that he is, the one thing I love about, I mean, if you look at the accolades and all of the titles that he's had over the years, it's very impressive. But I think his most heartfelt title is, he is an advocate for children. And it doesn't matter if they're 4 years old and in pre-K or kindergarten, or if they're 17 years old going off to college. He is like a dad to all of them, and he's an advocate for children, and that's really what brought me to Mission Dolores. And and one other thing, and Charlie knows this, but my Irish immigrant grandparents moved to the Mission District, and so my father and his 2 siblings went to Mission Dolores. So there's a little bit of a heartstring there also. Yeah.
I think, Mary, you really hit it on the head. Father Gagan, Charlie, and really Mission Dolores is all about the people and those long-term connections. I was introduced to Father Gagan through friends who he married, who've known him since they were born. And Father Gagan, you do such a good job of really caring about individual people. When I think about my own children's education experience, we've had the benefit of, my son had, it was suggested that we do some speech therapy with him really early, like in preschool. And then that, because it was kind of an early intervention, like that's moved mountains for us. So at schools that don't have that type of personal attention, maybe don't have the benefit of right away. I know that that's been happening at Mission Dolores because of the people that you two have brought together on the board. So it's an incredible education experience. It's so personal about, the family and the children. And Father Gagan, you keep those connections going. Can you share like maybe a story of a child or of a family that really resonates with you from Mission Dolores?
One that touches my heart.
We'd love it.
Well, I have many, but I think what Mary was saying about this community that we formed of all these different groups, there's one that really strikes me, the story of a community in action. I would go around at lunchtime. The kids eat in the auditorium. They have round tables. And there was a transfer student. I saw him at the table eating by himself. He was 6th grade. And the other boys, it turned out, were there, but they weren't talking to him. He's new. So I went up to him. I said, "What's your name? Are you new?" And he said, "Yes." And I said, "Well, welcome. What's your name?" And he told me. And I turned to the boy on his right and I said, "Introduce yourself." And they look at me like, "Oh, introduce yourself." And then I said to the new boy, "You introduce yourself." I went all around the table. There were 7 of them. And I said to the new student, "See these guys? They're your buds. They have your back. I never want to go out in the yard and see you standing by yourself. You'll be invited to play and all. And fellas, if I come back tomorrow and you cannot tell me his name," and they all went, no, it's okay. Well, fast forward 3 years and we have graduation and he is off to a good high school. And I come back to my office and there's a note on my desk and it says, "Dear Father Charlie, I'm leaving now, but I just want to thank you for making me feel welcome that day when I was a transfer student."
Oh, that's so sweet.
That is so touching.
That's sweet.
I have the note right here on my shelf, but I keep it. It's very special to me. There's a kid who was able in the 8th grade to write me a note of thanks as he went on to high school. We did something for that boy.
Mhm.
That's something that really comes through at MDA, is just this notion of gratitude from everyone. And wow, what an incredible gift you gave him that day, and gave those boys that day as well. Not just the boy on the receiving
That's
end,
right, Michelle. Yeah.
they were all receiving that day.
Yes.
And this,
I'm the one that's blessed just to be among them. I feel it.
well, this is getting me more and more excited for February 25th. It's a power hour, 6 p.m. to 7 p.m., although you can log on early for a little fun, about 30 minutes ahead of time. So, Mary, you've worked so hard to make this happen. We've got 10 years in the past for Mission Dolores, and we have a long future ahead, but it definitely takes the support of the community, and by that I mean dollars. What are you looking forward to for February 25th?
Well, the Power Hour will be a lot of fun to watch, because it's not going to be long and drawn out, and every episode that's on goes like that, and it's like you just want more of it. One thing that struck me, a couple of things that struck me is Father Gagan, Francisco, who now is at Reardon High School. I saw bits and pieces of his interview last night, and I was so emotional. It's very, he's a typical story of Mission Dolores, and without Father, he wouldn't be in the shoes he is today, and he's very clear about saying that. And then also just, of course, our honoree, Charles Fan, who has done so much for Mission Dolores. His interview will be fascinating. So looking forward to seeing that as well. And then the children. I mean, what could be better than seeing all the kids and seeing the children interviewed and that sort of thing. So we'll have a little entertainment in that direction also. So I would recommend everyone tune in, because you will not be disappointed.
No, this 1 hour will change the way you approach your next 24 hours, your next 48 hours, your next week, and hopefully even further beyond that. It definitely, being exposed to Mission Dolores has definitely done that for me. And I mean, I feel like when we see some of those kindergartners sing, it's like just watching all of this potential. I mean, all of these future Charles fans, or all of these future just amazing community leaders. And it's because of the love and support and, frankly, interaction, like what you just shared, Charlie, just being able to connect with people. And I feel like that's what MDA really gives these kids. Thank you both so much for being with me today. I'll see you on February 25th. If anyone is interested in joining on February 25th, please email me, or I'll put the link in the notes from this interview. We would love to really spread the word about Mission Dolores Academy and all the amazing work it's doing to educate these future leaders in San Francisco and beyond.
Great.
Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you.